the number of decimal places I want the number to be rounded to. I'm going to retrieve it from the dual table, and when it's going to be executed, what Oracle is going to do is it's going to examine the third digit after the decimal place. Now, if this third digit was 5 or greater, then the digit prior to it will be raised by 1. Now, because this digit is 6, the number after rounding will become 27.57. I'm going to now show you an example where I'm going to remove the second argument. Here we are saying we want the number 27.5663 to be rounded to 0 decimal places. When we want the number to be rounded to 0 decimal places, the first digit after the decimal place is going to be examined. Because this number was 5, it's going to round the number in such a way that the integer prior to the decimal place is going to be raised by 1. So the result of the rounding is 28. The next function I'll show you is the trunc function. The trunc function also may receive 2 or 1 argument. It truncates the first argument to the number of places defined by the second argument. I'm going to use the same number as my first argument. First example would be where I have 2 arguments. I'm saying I want the number 27.5663 to be rounded to be truncated to 2 decimal places. On executing the statement, the result of this truncation is 27.56. So what we really don't care about is whether any of the digits are 5 or greater. All we want to do is truncate the number to 2 decimal places, and the result is 27.56. If I remove the second argument, this would mean that you want it to be truncated to 0 decimal places. So it's going to remove all the digits after the decimal point to give you the result of 27. The next function is going to be the absolute function. The absolute function will always return the positive of its argument. It receives one number which is either positive or negative, and it will return the positive of the number. So I'm going to show you here the example where I'm going to call the absolute function, which is written as ABS. I'm going to pass a negative argument to it, and the result is going to be the positive of the number, which is 5. Now, even the positive of 5 when passed to the ABS function will return the result of 5. And finally, I'm going to show you an example where I'm passing a negative number which has got decimal places, and the result of that number will be just 5.66, which is the positive of the number. The next function is the floor function. The floor function receives one argument. It will return the largest integer equal or less than its argument. I'm going to call the floor function. I'm going to pass as its argument the number 38.4. The largest integer less than 38.4 is 38. And that is what the result of the floor function is. Now I'm going to make the argument a negative number. The largest integer less than minus 38.4 is minus 39, and that's what the result of this floor function is. The next function I'll show you is the ceil function. The ceil function also receives one argument and returns the smallest integer greater than or equal to its argument. The first example is going to be where I'm going to call the ceil function. I'm going to pass a positive 38.4. The smallest integer that will be greater than 38.4 is going to be 39, and that is what the result of this ceil function is. Now if I make that argument negative, the smallest integer greater than minus 38.4 is minus 38, and that is what will happen when I execute this statement. You get the result of minus 38. The last function in this tutorial is going to be the mod function. The mod function receives two arguments and will return the remainder that is obtained by dividing the first argument by the second argument. The mod function will return 0 if the first argument is 0. So I'm going to call the mod function. I'm going to pass to it two arguments. Suppose I say mod of 21, 4. Now when you divide 21 by 4, the quotient or the answer would be 5 and the remainder will be 1. Now the mod function is going to return the remainder that is obtained by dividing 21 by 4, and that is the value 1. So that's what you see as the result of mod of 21, 4. And if I change the first argument from 21 and make it 0, the result of this mod will always be the value 0, because the mod function will always return a value 0 if the first argument is 0. In this tutorial, I discussed a number of commonly used numeric functions. I hope you find this tutorial useful. For other videos, tutorials, and articles, you can look at the Oracle